welcome back to these guys who have just now on to the fourth attempt at recording this podcast. Who are these guys? I'll tell you who these guys are. It's Neil Allison.
Hi there.
Don Jerums, who I definitely know the surname of.
I'm here.
And ID4. Independence Day herself, Imogen Dale.
Still here, Joey. Still here.
Still here. Still fighting. You won't go anywhere, are you?
Absolutely not. Can't.
Season 14.
We just had our 14-year anniversary. So what is that? Maybe 15?
Season 15. 15 years old. And
who do you think we are, eh?
Still won't die. Right, okay then. So we are. How long has it been since we last spoke? 2 months, 3 months? How long do you have for a summer?
3 for us, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Does anyone have anything? Did anyone enjoy anything at all in the last 3 months? or is life simply a relentless march towards death for any of you? Who's got anything at all?
I had a good time watching the World Cup. Well, I thought it could have been way better for COD fans because it started brilliantly. Because my moment of the summer was Brandon Thomasanti setting up that goal for Urenchi. And I celebrated that at, I don't know, it was 4 a.m, something daft, quite a lot. And it got very exciting. I was like, oh my God, Brandon's going to run right at the World Cup. And then Haji's to come and this is all going to be great fun. And then Haji right, I think, overall. And we barely saw Thomas Asante for the rest of the World Cup. So it upset me a little bit. But before that, Brandon, being Brandon, doing something good and having most of Ghana, I think he's the next coming of Jordan Iwu, was really, really good.
I got the impression that you didn't miss a single minute of the World Cup. Is that true?
I gave it a bloody good go. I lasted a week. It was honestly, it was probably going to kill me. I got to the place where when you've watched 3 matches and it's then 6 a.m. and there's another one to come. It's just not up. Sometimes some things aren't worth it just to be able to say you did it. And I was sort of harking back to 2002 where I had great fun getting up early in the morning at 5 a.m, 6 a.m, watching them in South Korea and Japan. But that's a different game. Getting up a little bit early is far harder than being awake all day long and then watching Iran versus New Zealand at 5 a.m, which is actually a very good game. But we won't talk about
that. I would have thought you were in your element because I always think of you as something as a night owl. That I think
there are levels to this game.
Is that if anyone was going to be equipped to stay up till 6 a.m. every day for a month, I think it was going to be you. You did strike me as particularly perturbed about the lack of involvement for BTA and Haji Wright. Was there anybody else as distraught as?
I mean, less surprised. I did listen to, I think it was a Sports Agent podcast over the summer that talked about the inner sanctum of Pochettino's USA. And they were talking about the players that hadn't played yet. And they said, well, the way that Pochettino operates is he just wants you to give your all. So the players that aren't playing are just the ones that aren't fighting for their place. I was like, Haji, man, throw me a bone. Come on, just try. It's America, man. Surely you're excited about this. But no interest.
That's a really American way of looking at it as well. Is it's just like, no, it's if you're not playing, it's because you're not good enough and you've not tried hard enough. You'd be like, oh, is that why? Okay, good, thank you.
Thanks so much.
All right, brilliant. Any other World Cup related stuff that anybody particularly enjoyed?
Not relevant.
Well, you say again.
There's loads that went on, was quite good, wasn't it? But not quite as relevant to this podcast, I would have thought.
I suppose, yeah. But then I guess, we haven't. What else are we going to talk about? I tell you what I did like is I can't remember his name, which isn't helpful. In fact, that's most of the anecdote gone. Is who was the nutter for Chile?
Who didn't make it to the World Cup?
No, not whether it's obviously not. It's obviously not Chilean. It's obviously not Chilean.
So you don't know his name or the country.
Let's work with this.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was Uruguay, but it must have been Uruguay then. Uruguay went out in a hail of bullets, didn't they? In their last game, they just went completely off the rails. Basically, there was a game, I think it was Uruguay, I can't quite remember who, but there was one player that stood out particularly for being an absolute nightmare, and then we got linked with him a few days later, and I was so excited. He was like, in the last of the 3 group games, I have to try and find out with my conversation with Paul, because Paul and I were very excited by it. He went out like Joey Barton did in that QPR Man City game where it was just looked like he was just trying to sort of kill the whole team. And then I saw that we got linked by what looked like quite a legit source at the time, saying, "Yeah, Cov have seen this shit house." God, that's
your kind of guy.
Let's get that guy in. But alas, that wasn't to be. But for a brief moment, I was very excited by that potential signing. However, I didn't have to worry too much about being excited by potential signings, because we've made loads of them, haven't we? And I whisper it, might they be all right?
Seems like a decent quality, doesn't it? Largely.
Yeah.
We don't know, do we? I guess is the thing. But I'm a bit excited. I mean, who's going to lay down the marker and say Caleb's surname first properly? I know you did. In fact, to be fair, you've already said it, haven't you, Neil? But are you certain of that? Urenchi?
Certain. Urenchi. Yeah, I'll go with that.
Urenchi.
That's how Big Dog Rob Gurney's pronouncing it. So.
Oh, there we go.
Let's find this. Urenchi, particularly for me, feels exceptionally legit and has looked every inch the player you'd hope he'd be in pre-season. Although saying that, did he only play against Monaco?
Yeah.
That's enough, shortly, to judge his entire career from this point onwards. I believe that first half will tell us everything we need to know. He has a lot about him. Exciting.
He's got a lot about him. He does running good, and I thought he did good passes.
That's all you need, really.
Yeah, I've always said that.
It's two of the main things, isn't it? No one's going to argue with that. That's the two of the main bits of football.
Yeah, people make football too complicated these days.
If
we did buy another person, go on.
No, go on.
No, we did buy another person who's quite good at football, Gus Hamer, but I don't know if anybody's heard of him, but he's all right, that one.
Pretty excited about him.
How excited, Imogen?
The most excited I've been since Michael Doyle came back.
Really?
You really?
No, I can't wait to see him. I think he's a great addition. And I think
he still is.
Yeah, definitely. I think it'll be wonderful. Also, it's funny because if this had been a signing under the previous regime, I'd have been like, oh, this is just it's a bit bleak, and we've just invited him back for a bit of a swan song. But bizarrely, as it's Lampard bringing him back, I'm thinking, okay, so he's going to sell shirts. So there's a bit of, I can see why Doug would bring him back. But Lampard's not going to bring him back unless he's, good, because he's got no links to him. Therefore, I think he's the second coming.
Isn't there a big bit of this which is, I think is he 6 million?
Yeah.
Well, that's what the song says now.
Yeah. I think you're going to, the one thing up until the point where he signed, the thing that really stood out for me, you could argue about positions, and I'm sure we will, is every player that we'd signed is like 20, 23, whatever. And it was like, it would be nice to see like a 29-year-old that's played in the Prem. And you don't, clearly, if you're Doug, you don't want to spend 20, 25 million quid on that guy. And so to get Hamer, who is a known quantity that everyone loves, that was great in the Premier League last time he was there, and let's face it, probably won't start every game for 6 million quid. it's too good value.
It's a no-brainer.
And I've got a bold statement. I think everybody's kind of underplaying just how good he's going to be, or just how good he still is. Like he is, we're pretending he's not what he was. Did anybody watch him last season?
Oh, he was.
I know he was injured a bit. I think he's got to come along and show some of our players that he's still got it.
But the other thing is that whenever you see Sheffield United talking about him, they keep talking about Sheffield United forward Gus Hamer, and I think they played him largely out on the left, didn't they? Of like the left of the three, and which I just don't understand how that's where you'd put him, and I do wonder whether actually, if you stick him back where he's meant to be, and we'll come on to this in a bit, I suppose. I increasingly think they might do that thing that I've wanted to see for ages, which is a much more flat three in midfield. That feels like it's where it's going to me. And he fits really nicely into that as far as I'm concerned. And he looked really fat last season at times, or in like the last 2 years, but I don't think he is. I'm sure I bored you already, didn't I? My mate sat next to him on a plane and talked to him for quite a while. And he was like, he looks in amazing shape. This is about a month ago.
Those shorts at Sheffield United did him no favours. I'm telling you that. No, those basketball shorts. That's not a good look.
But even in that game last season against us, where he did look chunky, and everyone was like, look at Gus. Every time he had a shot, you were like, oh my God.
Yeah, exactly.
And then didn't he make their goal as well?
Yeah, he was everywhere.
Yeah, just for a guy that was like, look at him waddling about, you were like, oh, Jesus Christ, he's going to kill us.
I know a highlights package is supposed to be good, but somebody's done a highlights thing for him from last season. That would be good enough for most of our players for their career. It's just that sort of level of, he does good stuff a lot of the time. And I think we get a little bit whipped up into the idea that these players, they hit 28 and that's the end of them. And I'm like, no, I think Gus, he's got a lot.
Also, for me, the worry is that, I'm trying to temper my expectations because he's my favourite COF player ever, and I don't want to see him come back and damage that. I don't think he will, but I want to kind of tell myself it's okay if he doesn't come back and be the best player in the team or whatever, because I'm really in two minds about it. I think he's a great signing, but personally, I would have preferred it for it to have not happened, just because. That's Gus,
Well, that's a you problem then, isn't it? That's
very much a you problem.
I know. But Dom, are you pro Gus?
I think like everyone, I'm surprised that it happened because it kind of doesn't really fit what we've tried to do as a football club in the transfer market for much of the last few years. And he doesn't come into an obvious role in the team. And I think there's an argument also that in Rudoni and Torp, you have two players in the team who, in the aggregate, supply what Hamer has to offer, and it's another squad place taken up. He's someone who hasn't played through the middle for much of the last few years, and he's stepping up to the Premier League. So it's interesting that we've kind of broke the model to sign him where he doesn't fit in, where part of me wonders, was part of it that Sheffield United had outstanding payments on him and we've just taken the opportunity to bring him in.
Tom, where is the romance in that?
Yeah, and I suppose the other question with Hamer is he going to be okay if he's just coming in for the last 30 minutes, starting the odd game? Is he that type of person who needs everything to be built around him to excel? But yeah, we'll see. It's interesting. It could just be a case of you sign good player, team gets better kind of thing. But yeah, it will be really interesting to see how he fits in and how it plays out, because I don't think like any of the other promoted clubs would have signed Hamer, or would have gone and signed a 29-year-old championship player who probably on like raw terms was the most talented player in the championship over the past like 6 out of the last 7 seasons. But
that's quite a lot.
Is that necessarily
What's the opposite of damning with faint praise? Okay, well look, we're all pro Gus. What I am surprised by, Dom, is to hear that you don't necessarily think, and I guess I can see your point, that he doesn't necessarily have a place in the team naturally. But then what I would ask you then is, given, well, before we sign Angel Gomez, of course, of the current massive chunk of midfielders that we've got, assuming that it is a midfield three that we start with, and let's just for argument's sake say they're all fit, who are your three and what are you asking them to do?
So I think it's going to be very different what type of midfield we select based on who we're playing. So I think Arsenal on Friday, that looks like a job for what I'm calling Grimes and his 2 bodyguards, Onyeka and Urenki. That's what we were preparing for in the Monaco game, where you had Onyeka and Urenki just smacking into tackles. Like one of the things you didn't mention from Urenki's debut was his first touch was an absolute reducer on a Monaco player. So I think we're going to see that model for those tougher games where you're going to have Grimes sitting in doing the neat things in possession, and then you got Onyeka and Urenki playing the enforcer roles. And I think with like the 2 additions we've made up front, that it does really seem to be a big thing that we want to add this season is physicality, with Amenda as well at centre back, just so we're able to compete. I'm going to be intrigued to see what we do with players like Torp and Hamer and Rudoni, where they come in. I think Rudoni's got physicality to him, which is going to help, and he's someone who can get into the penalty box as well, considering how much we absolutely love crossing. It hasn't seemed to have gone away. I think the model is going to be mainly built around having Grimes there and then having physical players around him who can let him do all the good stuff that Grimes does without exposing him physically, which is the worry with Grimes in the top flight.
Imogen, your 3 in midfield, please.
Does it matter? Because
I mean, it's a podcast. Like, what?
No. Sorry, I don't mean that. I wasn't going existential. I mean, I understand what Dom is saying about it depends who we are playing, but everyone is going to be better than us. I mean, Ipswich destroyed us both times last season. We might get a point at Hull. I would rather that he just, I don't know, throw on the best 3 at the time. Do you know what I mean? Whoever's fit, whoever hasn't been hacked down or just torn to pieces by whichever strike force they played in the previous game, throw him in, they'll be all right.
Go for the Pochettino approach of just the 3 that have worked the hardest.
Those that try the hardest. Yeah, did all their homework.
Bring Jamie Allen back in. Neil, do you want to swipe down the very question itself, or will you?
Yeah, I'll join Imogen in that. Like, I don't think there's any such thing like as a predicted lineup at the moment. Like, it's only as good as the next game.
I'm asking who you'd play.
I don't want to answer that question, Joey. I want to give you the big answer.
Fine, I'll tell you what.
Don't listen to him. Don't let him bully you.
So, right, okay, here's what's going to happen then, is for the rest of this podcast, I'm just going to point at your screen, whichever one of you, right? Then you can ask your own question and answer it. How about that?
I would quite like that to be the entire podcast, if you ask me, but but we can't do that, so... No, I just think like it's a really good point though. Like it's a lot of people asking the questions are how are we going to fit everybody in and all that sort of stuff, and we just go back to every single season where it's so changeable that all we're doing is saying not any given day this version of a team might look good, and that's fine. But I'm so happy with the idea that there are 20 different versions of that midfield, and I think that's what we need to be doing. We need to get to a place where we've got very different versions of ourselves to play. So I mean, I think it's a real fine line between bringing in too much change. I don't think this. I think football thinks it's like there's a real fine line between bringing in too many players and changing it so much that you suddenly don't know who you are. So I'm not worried, but I don't want to see. Funny enough, don't want to see too many more players because I think there's a risk there. Like you then just become a guessing game. Like who are you? Like what are you trying to do? And you hope they sort of play well. Whereas actually, what I saw against Monaco was there's still real good signs that it's what we were, but then we just dropped in some extra quality. So long story short, I would probably do what Dom did, and like Onyeka, Yerengi, and Grimes make sense in midfield against Arsenal because actually they showed they could really sort of handle a team like Monaco the other day, which was really handy to watch. And then we go from there because I then look at teams like, I mean, haven't Brighton got Ayari and Hinselwood? I mean, they're not beasts. Well, they're in the middle of their midfield, just doing their job. It's like there's not just one version of a team that can sort of do something in that league.
Hinshelwood linked with Arsenal this week for like 60 million quid, by the way.
But is he a monster? Like he's a good player. He's a fine player, but like he's not this physical. Their midfield isn't physical, and yet they can. I don't know. I don't know enough about of sort of different types of play and styles, and I just think I'm looking forward to seeing how we sort of cope with it.
Yeah, I think looking forward to seeing how we cope with it, and also how are we going to try and rotate how we play? Are we going to actually just have one way of playing that he hopes works and goes from there? It's a strange consensus that I've got from the pair of you that we'll adapt and whatever, because I don't think he did unless he was forced to, particularly last season. I know it's two very different propositions, but I'm not totally sure that I expect him to change an awful lot.
No, not wildly, but each game will have its own challenges, and I think certainly around midfield and at that point, because you spoke about having just three in midfield. Will it be, or maybe we'll stick with the same? I don't think every game is just going to be that style of midfield, simply because we're going to have to impose ourselves in different ways. And I'm not as negative, certainly on our ability to sort of contend. We haven't got much reference point. I know we talk about Ipswich and they beat us twice last year, but we're still capable, like over the last 3 years, of competing with most teams that we've come up against, whatever level. So if we can at least do that and then find some sort of quality at some point, that's all we can ask for this year, isn't it?
I would have thought so. Before we move on from the midfield, I'm going to ask my final grenade question, which is the sort of anchor point for the pair of you two naughty boys, at least, was that Grimes is presumably a lock. Is Grimes better than Hamer?
Different.
Different?
So different. Yeah.
What can Grimes do that Hamer can't do?
Grimes can do the Grimes role. The really, really important way that we function. He can do that one. And he can be disciplined in doing it. Like Hamer isn't just going to sit and do all that, is he?
I really, really wish we could get Paul on just to listen to you two.
Paul doesn't know what he's on about.
Just do one episode where it's just you two arguing about Grimes.
Grimes was the best player on the pitch the other day. It's just ridiculous.
I don't want to be dragged into the anti-Grimes cabal, is what it is. I'm fairly middle of the road when it comes to Grimes. I think there is some of the things that he's done that is absolutely mind-blowing, especially off the pitch last season. But I'm not as evangelical about him as others are. I do find it really interesting that it's just assumed that he's kind of the first name on the pitch, and I sort of see why. but I look at the midfield the players that we've got in midfield now, and go, I wonder actually whether we've got a starting three that doesn't involve you. That's a better three players. But as you say, that will unfold as the season goes on. Shall we flip it up to a more generic question? We're not going to do predictions, obviously, but I'm interested to know more generally, Imogen, I'll throw to you first, of like how good or bad generally do you think will be?
I'm heartened by our signings, but there's been so many, I'm guessing they're going to take a while to settle in. I love that we're playing Arsenal first game, because historically Arsenal don't start well. Let's forget the Community Shield. That was an aberration. It doesn't matter. It's not a real game. It's not a real game. And they've got a lot of injuries, so yay. I think that'll be a great game. I think we go down, but I think we go down fighting. I don't see us doing a derby. Equally, I don't see us doing a Sunderland. If we stayed up, that would be fantastic. But I'm just so excited about the season. I'm not too asked about how well we do in terms of, establishing our place in the Prem. Because I think if we go down, I think there's enough in place foundationally for us to come back. Whereas maybe we wouldn't have said that, I don't know, 5 years ago.
Yeah,
even in lower leagues. Yeah,
I completely agree. If we'd have gone up against Luton, however many years ago that was, I don't know whether we didn't feel ready. Whereas at least we feel ready to have a tilt at it, I would say. Dom, Neil, anything particularly different? Do you feel any more optimistic or pessimistic than that very measured response?
I'm always optimistic, but go on, Dom. I've said way too much. You go.
No, okay. I think we can stay up. I like what we've done in the transfer market this summer. I think, we have made signings that are what I wanted to see us to make, where, we've added physicality to the team, which I think had been a missing element. My worry when we were looking like getting promoted last season was, are we just going to be the team that goes into the Premier League and plays the exact same way they did in the Championship? They get loads of plaudits. They don't score many goals. They're in games, but they don't get thrashed, but they get relegated, and they were never really even that close to staying up. But they got their plaudits, and I think what we've done this summer in terms of being quite aggressive in the transfer market, in looking to get the players we want, in making sure we got Rushworth, in everything we've done. We want to stay in the Premier League. We haven't recruited in a way to go, well, if we went down, we'll have a decent team to get promoted the next season. And we're willing to change things up a little bit to try and stay in the Premier League. So I think we've given ourselves the best chance we can with what we've done. We haven't just sat back and just assumed that what worked to get us promoted is going to work in the Premier League. Whether it will remains to be seen, but I think we've done a lot more to get ourselves ready than I thought we would.
Neil?
Yeah, after listening to Doug talking to Purslow, the last thing I expected us to do was to go and spend 150 million on players. So that's caught me off guard. I thought he was definitely going to try something very, very different, because he doesn't like the idea of spending money on wages. But yeah, that's caught me off guard. But I'm not averse to it, because I don't think we've spent loads and loads of money on loads and loads of players, which my worry was always, are we going to completely change, and then just throw a jumble of players at the team, and then you might do a Sunderland, or you might do a Nottingham Forest, or you might just end up with an absolute mess of a team. I don't think we've done that. It was nice to see that we kept elements of what I think you probably should still keep, because it's 3 years in the making. That's important. I think you take that there, and it's just now whether he's plugged the gaps where he thought maybe we didn't quite have enough. And it's funny that he seems to have made the decision that that's mainly sort of in midfield, like across the midfield and attacking areas, rather than defence at all. Like I'm not, one area I was just shocked by really is like the idea that we've only really brought in one person for defence. Like Amenda looks like he looks a beast. I've never seen anybody loom over Bobby Thomas. That was quite funny. Like, so I expect us to get one more in defence just to kind of tip the scales a little bit further towards sort of Premier League quality. But that's not to say I don't think, I'll say it out loud, I think Jay De Silva has improved so much and has now got international experience and playing in big games. I think he can probably cope with a level, but we're having to wait. There's no guarantee that he's going to be good enough, and that's the one area where you think, well, maybe do we push out a little bit more and find somebody just to tilt the scales a bit more.
I think there's also something to be said about the quality of the teams in the Prem this season, and even if you're saying, okay, Hull and Ipswich, let's say they're the other two that go down, I think there's a reasonable chance that we are able to drag at least one or two others into it if we are in that position. People like Sunderland are going to be in Europe. How's their second season going to go? Newcastle, like how's gone? The Saudis have got bigger fish to fry, one might think, than worrying about the Prem. You've got Palace didn't have a great Brentford with Keith Andrews. He hasn't done, that season. How's that going to pan out? I think it's quite interesting. It could be quite spicy.
Yeah.
So can I drop a massive bombshell on you?
Gosh, please.
I think we're going to. I think we're going to finish at like 12th or 13th.
Joey, I love you.
I just think the stars have aligned for us. There are 9 Premier League teams playing in Europe. And when you look at the effect on teams like Newcastle and on Man United and Chelsea, both positively and negatively on their league positions in the last 3 years, their league position has been decimated by their being in Europe. And they are big teams with big squads. Bournemouth, Brighton, having their first seasons in Europe. Palace will be keen to do something because of the injustice of being kicked out of that Europa League, and that they will take that seriously. And I just think that it means that there is going to be so many games on Sundays for us against teams not used to playing in Europe that will all of a sudden give us this massive upper hand compared to where we would have previously had a chance in that game. And I'm not saying that we'll beat them all, but that all of a sudden the odds have shifted significantly in our favour because they played on Wednesday and we didn't, and that they're having to travel back from places, teams that aren't necessarily prepared, geared up for it and whatever else. That is massive. There's also, is it 9 new managers starting in the Premier League this season?
Yeah.
And we've been given this incredibly beautiful, I know it sounds counterintuitive, but you couldn't have wished to have got Arsenal and Man City away any better than what we've got them.
Yeah.
Both of them with half a squad that were only playing a couple of weeks ago. Like, I doubt Saka will be there. I doubt that like a lot of their players will be. Now, look, could they still murder us? Yeah. But also, are you catching post-Fergie level Man City who've just been blasted apart by it? Like, actually, is this the time to, like, really? And as well, the home games are nice. And so it's Hull first. You'd have to think, if we don't win that, then I might have to retune this a little bit when we come back. but like, and also I don't give a shit about not beating Ipswich or Hull last season because we drew against Hull twice, didn't we? 0-0. I think it's what you did in 46 games rather than it is about those particular opponents. We played Ipswich in bad times of our particular ebb last season. I don't think it means anything. And I think I look at their recruitment. Dom, you made a very good point about the £26 million now buys you a striker that does fuck all, basically. But that, like, just a mixture of, I think teams that you would have previously have been able to rely on will be so sufficiently disrupted by changes in manager and European status that I think that's going to give us a big chance. Imogen, you said as well, Newcastle. I don't think people have realised how good a job Eddie Howe did, and they've had their entire team ripped out. Like, they could go down this season, and I think we'll be better than Ipswich and Hull, and I think it relies on ultimately staying up. One team needs to implode, and if you look at the propensity for teams imploding, we also don't know whether Man City might get like 100 points deduction. Is that? But it's a bit like when Fergie walked after they won the league. It's because he was like, I'm not trying to put another team together after this. Like, there's a problem here, and he knew it. And you wonder whether Pep was like, yeah, this is more energy than I need to expend to try and properly pull this back together. So I'll walk at the right time, and I'll leave Maresca to look like a dickhead. Like, just what if they're like? There's so many things to me. And the final one that I think is the most positive is, I just think we might be all right. Like, our team looks exciting and good. Like, it's a touch naive perhaps, and that there's perhaps maybe not the lack of, maybe a touch of experience lacking. I'm nowhere near as confident in Jada Silva as the rest of you are. When we struggled last season, and teams were able to overrun us, it was two things that were happening regularly, and it was that people were going past Grimes too easily, and then we were getting flooded down the left, and he just wasn't. And that's not a criticism of him. I just don't think he's a player that does well in a team that's got to do a lot of defending. I just don't think that's his strength necessarily. And I am petrified by going into the season with him as first choice left back, albeit I don't think we will, or certainly I don't think he will be by the end of August. Is that when the thing closes? But Amenda looks serious and has come from the Bundesliga, and Hamer, I think his quality, like we barely saw Rodoni enough last season. You would hope that he comes back energized and ready to, like, there's just, it looks like a squad. And as well, like, I don't think we're done either, are we? Siddiqui Sharif. Yeah. Is anyone else really struggling with it not being Sariki Chedif?
No, just you.
I'm not even going to try.
But it looks like we might sign Aki Ampong, who I know he's only 20, but it's another one where you're like, aren't you a bit too good to be coming to Cov? Like, this is, and I just think it's lined up for us. The big problem with all of this is that I'm wrong about everything, and so the one time that I'm fairly hopeful is presumably, the loudest death knell we could ever receive, right?
Somebody had to say it though, didn't they? Oh, I'm too scared to say it because I don't believe in anything ever happening that can be predicted. So that's a waste of time. But at least you've said it out loud.
But I think there's a very clear distinction here. That isn't for me. That isn't a prediction for me. That's that's just how I feel. That's just what I think.
That's all right.
On the balance of things, that's what I can see happening. And it's as much about the league as it is about us. But we're very American today. Why not us?
In the spirit of that, then, can I say what I feel? Not based on what I normally do. Can I say what I actually feel? None of this is based on like what's probably going to happen. But over the last few years, I've watched our players play bigger teams, and people like Milan van Eyck against Wolves and Man United, and in the pre-season friendlies, never ever looking overawed by that situation at all, and always stepping up. And I've watched us play Espanyol and Monaco and Everton, and this group of players always asserting themselves against bigger and better teams, and always looking like they enjoy it. And I'm thinking, okay, I know they're friendlies, and some of them weren't. Some of them were quite big games at Wembley. But like, I just think I really trust a lot of these players to perform at the level they've done it too often for me against good quality players. And you'll throw other caveats in there you like, but when I see Milan van Eyck always playing brilliantly against top class opposition, and in these pre-season friendlies, never, aside from Monaco last season when it was just God knows what happened there, where we lost 5-0, it was just a bit of a mess really. But other than that, every time we have these teams come and play us with really highly technical players, we still are looking good. And you've got Matt Grimes, who, say what you like, I think he looked best player on the pitch against Monaco. I just thought he was absolutely impeccable the way he played. And I'm just like, look at him looking good against Monaco. Isn't that nice to have somebody just stepping up and feeling like they can do it. So secretly, I wouldn't say this to the Guardian readers, but I think like we could do well this season. I like us, but that's just how I feel.
Why did you bring up the Guardian, Neil?
Oh, it was just I did a piece the other day. Is that what it was?
Was it?
Thanks for inviting. Yeah, I might have written for the Guardian the other day, guys.
You weren't scared of making predictions there, Neil. You seemed absolutely delighted to make all sorts of predictions.
Oh God, it's a shame for me, isn't it, having to make predictions, stealing it. Joey, when's your athletic piece coming out? We do the Guardian and Athletic. Come on.
They've not come to me this time around.
What? Did you not reply?
I've not heard. I've not heard from them, but that is what it is. Yeah. They're beneath me anyway. I'm not interested in. I'm interested in the garlands of the New York Times, but of course, do get in touch, guys, if you listen to this. Okay. What else then? I mean, please,
can we talk about the kit? All three of them. You had 3 chances at greatness, and you dropped the ball on every single one. My God!
What was the first one?
Neil.
It's all right.
Why
I don't mind being Huddersfield for the year.
Why are we not in sky blue?
It's
a monstrosity.
I've seen skies looking that blue before, though.
Imogen, I don't think you read the corporate marketing stuff. It actually is sky blue. It's just a deeper sky blue. On the subject of the home kit, can I reveal to you that I was in Scarborough last week, and on the way back, whilst still in Scarborough, a man went, "Hey, Huddersfield!" literally, and I'd got that top on, and then I turned around and he was like, "Oh no, hang on a second, who is that?" "Oh, Coventry, you're in the Premier League again." I was like, it sounds like the sort of thing you'd make up, but it was recognised as a Huddersfield shirt, of course.
I had something similar back in 1995 when I was walking around in a Barcelona top and somebody shouted Crystal Palace at me, and it wasn't Crystal Palace, it was Stoichkov. But I definitely feel your pain there. That's happened.
I think it's a really tricky thing with the home kit because independently of tradition and deepness of sky blues, I think it's a lovely piece of kit, and the kit as a whole looks terrific and whatever else. I just don't think it's a Cov kit. I don't like that.
I could not disagree with you more. I think the kit is a monstrosity. You've got that weird, all right, deep sky blue. It's not deep.
You've had that loads before,
sky blue. Yeah, but
I've seen skies that blue.
Okay. Then you've got a navy short.
That's the most cutting I've ever had in my life.
Yeah,
I don't even indulge it.
For the benefit of the listeners as well, it was the withering look that accompanied it. It was just like,
I felt it to my core. I really did.
Shit, what you were going to say? Carry on,
please continue.
I feel really strongly about this. Navy shorts and a royal blue socks. It's not chic. It doesn't match. It's a mess. It's not even tonal blues. I can't bear it.
What about a away one?
Well, I'm going to have to get one. So it'll be the white one, I think, because that purple one is my grandmother's.
Why don't you like the lilac one? I like the lilac one.
Lilac one.
Who's wearing that?
All right, Nan. Mauve.
Me for a start. And I think about it now is I like collecting them and having them and whatever, but the other big joy is seeing my boys running around in them. And the hot coral pissed me off because of the fact that we got bought by Monzo, but they looked gorgeous in the hot coral running about. And the pink keeper kit and the lilac kit on their mixed racy skin. Oh, babe, they're going to look absolutely lush in them kits. So I'm happy with the lilac particularly, and that pink keeper kit, which I think is a lovely touch. I think apart from the, like you say, the deepness of the sky blue, I'm not a fan of the away kit particularly, but that seems to have gone down terrifically popular.
I like it. It's very jacket-takey. Okay. It's got all the right colours, just in the weird order. But I don't really like kits very often, so it's odd for me. So I realise I'm probably definitely in the minority here because I rarely like them, apart from the yellow ones. So away one's good.
Imogen, I've never seen you this Anna Wintour. You look like someone's come to your house on Christmas Day and pissed on your kids. This is. I haven't seen you this angry since Robin's left. This is really quite something. Dom, what have you made of it? What have you made of the kits?
I bet
you couldn't give it. I bet you couldn't give a shit, could you?
I do like stripes. It always makes me think of the Tony Mowbray team when it was just really fun.
What? Yeah, look how that ended.
Yeah.
That is appalling. Sorry, I'm pointing to the gradient, which just basically looks like it's got mixed up in the wash. It's really strange.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah. That's an oversight. I don't like that.
Well, I don't think it's I think they're a bit of all right. I'm not, like I said, the Wake It less so. What I will say about it in terms of other things from the summer is it's an independent item of whatever you might call it. The motor coat is something, but imagine buying it and wearing it. Under what circumstances? Are you going out on a date with someone in that coat? Imagine you'd be like, oh, what? That coat's peculiar. What is it? You'd be like, well, I support Coventry City, and so I paid like 300 quid for this like big leather jacket that's got like racing motif for Coventry. You'd be like, oh wow, have you always been a virgin? Just really, and the players look cool in it because they're 6'2" gorgeous athletes. Like it's what they're. Of course, they're going to look good in it. But imagine if I turned up in the first game of the season, the Hull game, with that coat, big fat squat. You're all right, guys. All right, you got your big coat on. Yeah, I'm boiling actually. But I've spent how much is it? I haven't actually seen how much it is.
Oh, I didn't know if it was for sale.
I bet it costs. I'm sure. I think it's gonna be on sale at some point. I bet it costs loads, and there's gonna be some people waddling around in it in the Stone Island top on underneath, the big com jacket, absolute weapons. So there's the jacket debacle. There's also Jack Redoney complaining about the price of the home shirt. He won't put it out in one of the like subversive marketing. I was like, yeah, it is actually, but we'll buy it. It was, I think, because didn't the club pull it? Didn't he put it on his own? So didn't it go around social media?
No, they put it out their own. But I think they pulled it eventually. Like, I think when it came round that people were like, hang on a second, Jack Redoney's just balked at having to pay for it. I think they pulled it back down. But I thought that was actually, like, it's nice, isn't it? Like, we know, we're not stupid. We know it's ridiculously expensive for a T-shirt. But it is what it is. Do you know what else is depressing about that is that I looked through the price of the home kits for every Premier League club, and we're like,
yeah, we're not
it's the average price is about 85 quid. Most of them are 90 quid, which is just disgusting. But there you go.
Even last season's, you can still get that. That's still like 40, 50 quid, isn't it?
I know, and that's the thing. It's not even the saving by waiting is not even good enough to bother waiting. And like, you know, if you like the collecting element of it, I still have nightmares about missing out on Ben Wilson's black kit with the cathedral lights on it.
Oh right, yeah.
Which admittedly is probably only really 30 quid second hand, but it's just not the same. But there's been a lot of I know that these people, and by the way, if you're listening to this for the first time, stop and turn it off because we don't want any new listeners.
I don't think there's any danger of that.
No, I think we're fine. I mean, I don't think we've got any old listeners either. But these people that have come recently and are enjoying the videos of the go-karting and the sexiness and whatever. Come on, guys. I know we're in the Premier League, but let's keep things nice and boring and whatever. Because when you announce a kit, I'd actually like to be able to see what it looks like instead of everyone being in soft focus dark lights with a jacket over the top of it. I'm interested to see the detail of it, please. So when you've announced the third kit today, you haven't, because I haven't seen any element of it.
You also don't need to go to Detroit to release it. You can just release it here. Just stay here.
Much, isn't it?
we're in. Most of us are in Coventry. So.
I have a theory on new kits though, because like launching them, was it last season, the season before? They launched it, but the saturation or the hue or whatever it was a completely different colour. But then all the DH-gate people went mad and immediately started making it in the wrong colour.
Yeah.
And you can immediately see the difference between this is real kit, this is fake kit. And they did it again last year, and I hear they've done it again this year as well, where the colours are way off. And I feel like if I was the club and I was trying to stop people from robbing my kit or make it least obvious that they're robbing my kit, I would do the same with the photos. You ain't getting a proper photo. I'm going to really dial up that saturation, and then we're gonna see. Just be spiteful.
Do you think that Doug is sat there thinking about ways to spite DH-gate? Is that
just everybody in general? Maybe, I don't know.
He has gone a bit Bond villain though, hasn't he? Did you see that thing today about the points? That if you buy a Plymouth ticket and you don't scan it, you have to then relinquish the points that you had. And some people would be subjected to spot checks where they have to collect their ticket in person with photo ID. I
think that's just a big lie. They're trying to scare us.
Spite on that.
Yeah.
It's extraordinary.
But the other one as well, home tickets now, it's all digital now, isn't it? And now the whole notion, they haven't said anything about this stuff officially, and it's really winding me up because we're getting close. But
same.
Previously you share your season ticket. If you can't go, you give it to, a member of your family or something, so they go and sit in your seat. Now, apparently, that'll be against the rules, and there'll be ways they'll stop you from doing that, obviously, because it's on phones and stuff. But it's like, well, I don't want to sell the seat next to my dad to a random stranger, and in between, like, other people. Like, just, I'd rather it go free, and then have an empty stadium.
I was because it was going to be the thing that stopped me from renewing this season. But I emailed the club shop to say, listen, like, I live in Manchester, my mate lives in Amsterdam, like, we've got tickets that we rotate around, right? Like, it's just that's how we've worked it. And I'm like anxious about what's going to happen with the thingies. Like, is that going to be able to stop that? And they emailed back pretty much immediately to say, you should never have been doing that. That is illegal. And that this is part of the whole. You're like, well, it's not. Like, there's a culture of this. Like, that's not peculiar behaviour. And they give it the old, we need to know that it's used coming in and blah, blah, blah.
Bullshit.
The good thing is that, so it would appear, and I, like you, am waiting for this information and don't know why we haven't had it yet, but I believe the way that it will work is you will not be issued a digital season ticket to put on a phone. You will be issued game-by-game tickets, which actually helps our cause, because we've got a burner phone between me and our mates, and we were going to put the season ticket on, which is the most bizarre 2026 thing. We were looking at originally... Well, we found one in a drawer that has got a Google fucking wallet on it or whatever. But I was looking at buying a phone for 90 quid just to put a season ticket on at one point, which is just this horrible environmental thing about it. But it turns out that in all likelihood they will be done game by game, which means that if you can't go, you can let somebody else download it on your behalf, I think.
If that's the case, I don't like it, but at least it gets around the problem. So that's allowed. But that's just, the whole thing is really petty. That's how people work, isn't it? I can't go, you let a member of your family go instead.
Yeah, of course.
Someone do it every game. It's just normal behaviour.
Yeah, and I'm not totally sure I buy the kind of the corporate argument of like, well, we need to know the name of the person that came in. I'll be like, well, I don't think you do anyway, do you? Like,
no, you don't. You've not known for the last 20 years.
We've got that information.
And presumably you're automatically counting season ticket numbers towards the attendances. So it's nothing to do with that. Yeah. They're already locked in.
Yeah.
They're not doing a register when you get out or anything, are they? Like,
So it seems needlessly... Well, yeah, I guess it is what it is, which is I find the most comprehensive thing you can add to an argument when you say that. what else? What else happened?
Sign Rushworth. It's nice.
Yeah, that's good. It's really annoying having to spend 30 million quid on a keeper, though. Seems a bit much.
It is. Can we also talk about how he had got to the point where before he was announced, he was photographed in Costa in Binley.
Yeah.
His wife had asked about places to look after dogs or something in Solihull. Right. He's fucking waving his pen about in the parade and everything. Even though it was very, very obviously done. And then who was it? Neil, did you spot it that the Brighton press release when he'd signed was dated 5 or 6 days in the past?
Oh, no, not me. Yeah.
On the Brighton website, the story that they had, I think it was announced on the 5th of August, but on the Brighton website, it was published on the 5th of August, but the date was the 31st of July on it. What I couldn't get my head around is the way that people had lost their fucking minds about it being announced. You know it's happening. Why do you need to see it on paper? It's not a big deal, is it? Like you just need to be patient for a second.
Yeah, they're making a video. It's fine.
Making a silly video, one of two videos that's got incredible potential to come back and haunt the player involved, with Rushworth being like, I said every time I was Cov, you'd be like, until your buyback gets executed next year. And Hamer being like, I'm home. It'd be like, until Feyenoord try and buy you next summer. What was I saying then? God, I'm not even drinking. What was the start? What was the start of that point?
We're kind of on Rushworth.
Oh yeah, just chill.
Yeah.
Just guys, just relax. Like it's happening, and then he signs, and then literally it's just straight away. It'd be like, well, when's your entry being announced? Like you don't need to live your life. Just calm down. It's okay. They'll either sign or they won't sign.
I saw somebody refer to the transfer window, maybe on like the 2nd of August, as being, God, it's been rough this summer, hasn't it? On that point, we spent 90 million. It's just like, it's just rough.
I think we talked about it last season, but I genuinely think that people prefer the transfers than they do the football. I think a lot of it now for a certain type of person, hang on a second, I'll say this quietly so people don't hear, bad people. I just think that what they want is the soap opera element of it, and the transfer window is one of the most salacious, sort of gaudy bits of it. But like I say, I formally look down my nose at you, if that's you who's listening and likes the transfer window. Get a life.
Dom, how do you feel about the transfer window?
Transfer window?
No, Dom.
Oh, Dom. Sorry, go
on. What, this specific one for a commentary or in general?
Either or.
It's always exciting to see new players come in, especially over summer when where there's no football to watch. But yeah, we will make signings, things happen. That is the nature of football. And it's like the sad thing about growing up in the world is you don't have players on like 1 or 2 year contracts, so it's not all musical chairs over the summer. So it still feels like people aren't quite used to that. And if we go on to stay in the Premier League, well, this is going to be the most entertaining summer of transfers that people can see for some time. One in which people were tearing their eyes out in boredom about 4 weeks ago. So just goes to show that, it's never going to be enough for some people.
Yeah, people are the problem. Quiz question. It's kind of on transfer. Looking at transfer market at the moment, who would you say is now our highest value player? Any guesses there?
Well, I'll fall into the QI trap and say Urenki.
Incorrect. He's 18 million euros. So we have players who are 2 players actually higher than him.
Al Rushworth?
Incorrect. He is down at 16 million euros.
Oh, no.
Oh my God, is it Jake Bidwell?
Radoni?
Jake Bidwell made of gold.
God, I need to make that now. I'll have to make that. Did someone say Radoni? He's second, 20 million. So we have a player who's 22 million, apparently, now.
Van Eyck.
Yeah. Which kind of surprised me. Not that I don't think he's in this market worth something like that. He's 25 as well. But I just thought with all the money we'd spent and all the other stuff, you thought somebody else would be there. But yeah, that surprised me. 22 million euros, Van Eyck.
Yeah. Doesn't Doug absolutely love transfer market?
He does. Oh, but he was killing himself the other day when it was down. It'd be so annoying for him.
Yeah.
It's really funny, isn't it, to think about someone that high profile and that well off and whatever running a business and just being like, hang on a second, let me just log on to the same website that, dweebs used.
Just check my chat GPT, have a conversation. Am I making the right decision here? Yeah.
Yeah, it's worryingly close to fantasy football, isn't it? The question going around the room, Dom, we'll start with you. Don't worry about naming players, but if you'd like to name players, then please do so. What, if any, positions would you like to fill before the end of the transfer window?
Another left back would be nice.
Is that all?
Yeah, left back, and I feel good. I'm very intrigued by the possibility of Mudryk coming on loan. Just one of those. I just want to see a really weird transfer, a player you'd never expect to end up at Coventry happen this summer. So that would satisfy me in terms of that one.
And as well, the thing with Mudryk is he was unbelievable for Shakhtar.
Yeah.
And just looked like the fastest player in the world, like different level fast then. And then because he's 80 million quid, people are like, he's crap. But you're like, no, you're saying he's crap because he's 80 million quid. But if he comes to us, I bet he'd look fucking unbelievable. Obviously, he's going to be unfit, but the update today is that apparently we are legitimately in the running as an option. That's not to say that it's done or whatever, but that it is a thing that he could come here. I just have a sense that he might take a month or two to get up to speed, but if he does, he might be very, very good.
Not knowing his background at all, like all I know is the vicious person he's supposedly be because he was banned. But like, is he high or low maintenance? Thinking of Frank here. Is he was all that drug stuff?
So the main thing is that I was really surprised to read this, but the Lampard was in charge of Chelsea when Mudryk signed.
Okay.
So I think he played 10 games for Lampard, and Lampard likes him, and I think that's been a big part of it. I think that they've got our relationship, and I also think that I've got no idea whether he did or didn't take drugs, or whether he did so knowingly or illicitly, or what that means or says. But I gather that he went and trained with some non-league club. Did he? I get the impression that he was very serious about like getting back and being proper and whatever. And there's a world in which Chelsea haven't 100%. I think the reason that it's been a bit delayed is there is some idea that Chelsea might just keep him about. So he must be pretty good. But we'll have to wait and see. Imogen, what would you fill position wise?
Definitely left back. Yeah. I would have said striker until today. We've seen to have covered that. Nice one. I don't think there's anywhere else. Is there? There's no burning. Not at the moment. I think. No,
I think the rest of it would be like maybe nice to have. But on the subject of signing strikers, it was very funny to me that on Saturday morning maybe, me and Paul texting each other and Paul being like, I do think we need a striker. And then 12 hours later, I was like, will these two do? He's like, I'm just worried that we won't sign a striker. He's like, oh, we've signed two. We've signed one really good young one and one with Premier League experience. He'll probably score 10 goals if he can stay fit. Okay, that's good. We'll do that. That's not bad. Neil, any advance on that?
Just a defender. I guess a left back, but I'm willing to give Jade Silva a go. But I know that's probably not a long-term approach. People prefer maybe, but a defender of some sort. I think just to shift that to upper level.
Fair dues. What have we missed? It feels like we've missed some lols, some, I suppose we haven't really, have we? It's not.
Would be loads, but who knows? I don't think we've ever been comprehensive, have we?
We've got to save the content for the rest of the season, shall we? Got at least 3 more podcasts to do.
It's all a bit like, it's all gone a bit sort of homogenized. Even the bits of like city and scene and training or whatever. I remember, I still think about Victor Torp turning up to training last year, looking like he come straight out of Campbell in like flares, black going out shirt, Converse. But they're just everybody, this time round, it was just everybody's just wearing the same clothes, and it's not their fault. It's just they're not the big guy. I fished this out earlier, by the way, which for the benefit of listeners is that I went on Amazon at the end of the season and bought one of them like fake autographed pictures of Victor Torp playing for £8, and I've got that in pride and place in here because I don't think he's gonna play much this season, and I think he is like the best player that we've ever not appreciated, if that makes sense. Because he was brilliant last season, and then he got dropped for a bit, and then at the end of the season they were like, "Will you come back in?" He was like, "Well, yeah, and I'll score and create a load of goals."
Oh yeah, I'll keep setting up everything.
I'll just keep thrashing free kicks in and just create a load of stuff. You're like, I wonder whether you should have played all season, Victor. But there you go.
I think we'll see.
We'll see some of them. Maybe it's just going to be the same. But sorry, go on.
Oh no, you've gone a little bit wonky, so this is going to be a weird part of the pod, but you're back, so.
No, go on, say that again, Neil, sorry.
I don't want to say it again. It sounds weird if I say it again.
Oh, I didn't hear it the first time. Never mind. Who's got any of the final things as the wheels come off this podcast? Is there anything else that people are keen to get off their chest?
Can I promote my game, Watkov Goal? Because that was the summer of Covdal has happened, and that's finished. But I've got my new game, Watkov Goal, that's out there, so search for that, and you can do that every single day until nobody plays it, and then I'll turn it off.
We need to do a podcast exclusively just about the creation and upkeep of Watkov Goal. Imogen and Dom, do you play it?
Not yet.
You don't have to.
Yet. It's been out for months.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Just explain what it is, Neil, so for people that haven't played it.
It's like a little bit like that bit in from Catchphrase where you see a portion of a frame from a goal, and then you remove different frames and you guess what that goal was and who it was against, and the quicker you can do it, the better your score, sort of thing. And that's it. And then every single day there's a completely different goal, and people seem to enjoy it.
I love it.
It's quite hard sometimes.
There's so much wrapped up in it. There's the thing of it took me all 6 panels, and I still nearly missed Bobby Thomas against Blackburn away last season. and yet I got Godden against Ipswich in League One in 2. Was that today's? I think that was this morning's. And also, your own designation of whether it's easy, medium, or hard is often baffling, because I look at it and I'm like, well, I don't know how anyone in the world would have.
Yeah, I do worry about that. I then look at the stats afterwards, and it doesn't align at all. But then I have people. I have this thing like I make it too easy, and then everybody on Twitter goes, "Oh, it's too easy. It's too easy." So I make it really hard. No, it's too fucking hard. I can't get it. I'm like, I don't know what to do here, guys.
No, you've done it perfectly. Don't listen to anybody. People are not worth listening to.
Good advice.
But what Cov Goal is it's just magnificent, and I really miss Covdell. I really, really miss Covdell because it was far too late in the day where I realised that the Baker Dovin opening to go salvo was I was in 3 pretty much every single time once I'd nailed down that opening 2.
It was too hard. I couldn't play it. I invented it and I couldn't play it. It was far too hard. Like, how do you conjure up a name of a Cov player with 5 letters out of history? Like, I can't. I just had Baker every day, and then I just choice paralysis.
But the Baker Dovin combo gave me such a good letter placement and letter, like those 10 letters meant that all of a sudden those exact problems that you've just described there did dissipate quite quickly after that. But it was I think was it 70 something days?
Yeah, because there was only 100 and something players in all the time, and there's no point in putting some of them in there. So that was and nobody needs. It's one of those where you can't. There's nothing more you can do with it. There's just a certain amount of players, so you can't keep it going. That was fun.
No.
Fun at the time.
No. It was fantastic. So thank you for that. I've got something I want to plug, which is on the BBC website. Is Matt from Proud Sky Blues has got a piece on there about what Proud Sky Blues has meant to him and the work that they do, and I have. I was going to say infiltrated their WhatsApp group this summer, which is not. That sounds bad. And it's not. I've just joined it, and it's just a wicked group. It's just a really good group of people. And in the spirit of alienating people, I also joined another Cov WhatsApp group at the start of the summer, and I'll not be a prick and say who it was, but I jumped out of it after about a week because it's just dickheads. But Proud Sky Blues is just such a lovely community of people, and it's just the work that Lewis has done to pull it together and the community that's been created is absolutely fabulous. And as someone who is not traditionally LGBTQ plus, I don't think I have been welcomed with open arms even still, and so I just think those guys are out there and are a fantastic group. And that piece was lovely on the BBC website. So go and check that out. But they're just fantastic work being done there by. Dom?
Are you doing preview?
I am doing a series of preview articles this week because I did my big season review / last decade review over the summer,
which was glorious, by the way.
Yeah, and that was enough for me in terms of big fanzine style things for one summer at least. So I'm going to do a series of 5 articles. First came out on today as of recording, which was looking at what it means to be back in the Premier League, and there will be further articles on Frank Lampard, the path to survival, and the squad.
I'll read almost all of those.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. That's a season review. That's a season preview podcast, isn't it?
It was like it.
I think you'd be hard pushed to argue it was anything else. I think that's it. I think we haven't got anything else to say. So thank you very much, Neil.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dom.
Cheers.
Thank you, Imogen.
That was lovely. Thank you, Joey.
And thank you, listener. Bye.